En collaboration avec le Journal de Montréal et le Journal de Québec, Radio-Québec présente du lundi au vendredi 5 pour 1 avec Guy Richer, Suzanne Lévesque, Jean Duceppe, Louise Deschâtelet et votre animateur ce soir, Gaston Lheureux.
Cinq pour un, or 5 for 1 when translated, was a quiz show that ran on Radio Québec, which would later become CBC's Radio Canada, for 2 seasons, and was jointly produced by the Journal de Montréal and the Journal de Québec. It would run from 1987 to 1988. The show was unique in that during its first season, it would have 5 hosts who appeared on a rotating basis, each one handling one show for each week. The hosts were actor and TV personality Guy Richer, actress Suzanne Lévesque, radio personality and journalist Gaston Lheureux, actor Jean Duceppe, who incidentally is the father of Gilles Duceppe, the founder of the political party the Bloc Québécois, and actress Louise Deschâtelet. Technically, there was even a 6th host, as actor Jean Besselet filled in for Jean Duceppe on at least one occasion. It's very weird to have 5 hosts on a rotating basis permanently, and frankly, it's doomed to failure. Not that any of them did a particularly bad job, but as we saw with the drama on Jeopardy after Alex Trebek passed away, it's best to have one permanent host to give the show a sense of stability. Plus, it also creates a distraction when you're constantly changing the host, and makes the show more about the host rather than the game or the contestants, which is not a good thing. You might get away with rotating hosts on a short-term basis, but it'll never work long-term. And the producers realized that by the 2nd season, when Guy Richer became the sole host. 3 contestants play. All the questions for each day revolve around one subject, but they have a great variety of types of questions, including audio clues, visuals, scrambled words, so they managed to stretch the material very well. Round 1, the host goes around the horn 3 times, asking each contestant 3 multiple-choice questions. Correct answer worth $50. And it's just your standard quizzer here. Nothing that original, and it can be a bit slow-paced, but overall it's harmless. The pace quickens in the 2nd round, the sprint, which consists of a series of rapid-fire toss-up questions at $25 a pop. The only issue I have here is they don't play to a time limit. They just keep going until they use up all the questions. It would have been a lot better to have a 60 or even 90-second time limit, and would have given a little more intensity and maybe make for a quicker pace. And the other thing, too, is that it's nothing that original. Round 3 is where things get interesting. Each contestant faces up to 4 questions in turn. The first with a base value of $25, the second $50, the third $75, and the fourth $100. The contestant either keep the question at its base value or risk going to the board. If they choose to go to the board, a pressure luck-esque randomizer means jumping around the board. The contestant hits a button to stop the shuffle, and this determines their fate. They can potentially multiply the value of the question by 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10, add a bonus prize to the pot, which bonus prizes would be worth in the $50 to $200 range, or there's the risk. They can hit lose a turn, which would cost them to lose their turn, or they can hit bankrupt. If the contestant hits a bankrupt, the host will ask them the question. If they answer it correctly, no problems. But if they get it wrong, then they lose their entire bankroll up to that point. the end of the show, all three players keep whatever money they've picked up along the way, which is pretty generous for that era of Canadian television. And the winner is then eligible to become the returning champion. Prize money's very good here. Not uncommon to see the winner go considerably over $1,000, and the two losing contestants picking up a couple hundred. There's an oddity here, though, with how they pick the champion, as it would go to the one player who got the highest score for the entire week. He or she would return for one show in the following week. So it's a fun little quirky quizzer, but the 5 hosts format just doesn't work. And the amended sort of weekly tournament is a little odd and just overcomplicates things. The first 2 rounds are nothing original. And the show's big claim to fame, the pressure luck inspired quizzer in the 3rd round, it's a bit flawed too, since there's really more of a reward than a risk, since there aren't that many lose a turn or bankrupt squares on the board. So it's pretty rare for the contestants not to go to the board, and makes the whole thing a little redundant. Now, it does make things interesting, because virtually any deficit can be overcome, and any lead can be blown. But ultimately, it's not a great show. It's worth checking out, but it's not something that's going to draw you in on a daily basis. At least I don't think. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Games of Canada. On behalf of all of us, I'm Marc Power, saying long may your big jib draw.